What's up, guys? If you're new here, my name is Dom. Welcome to Faith Family Homestead. I just pulled out some chicken and beef that I canned yesterday, so that's why I was able to touch it with my bare hand. It's been sitting in this pot overnight, but I'm about to put this pot inside the sink because I want to make eggnog today. If you do not know, we have 2 goats that are in milk at the moment, and so right now we have lots of milk, we have lots of eggs that are in the refrigerator, that are in the counter, and I thought that this would be a good way to use up lots of eggs. A couple days ago, my son made this recipe and it was gone as soon as it was finished, and so today I am going to triple the recipe. When making homemade eggnog, which I personally never made before, it was our first time making it, which my son made it the first time, which turned out delicious. You use only the egg yolks. So in order to use the whole egg, I also want to make an angel food cake because that just uses egg whites. And so I found a recipe that used the exact 18 egg whites, and this recipe, if I triple the eggnog, uses 18 egg yolks. And so I'm not going to be wasting any of the egg to make this recipe. So the first thing that I'm going to do is be separating the egg whites from the egg yolks. And I need 18, like I said, and so I'm just going to separate them one by one. I will leave a link in the description box for this eggnog recipe as well as the angel food cake recipe. I'm using goat milk, but the recipe calls for just regular whole milk. I'm assuming cow milk. So if you wanted to make this recipe, you definitely could just use regular store-bought milk. This is a complete game changer for me. My kids love eggnog, I love eggnog, but we just buy the small container from the store. It is gone as soon as we get it, and it's about $4. And so this way I already have, the basis of, the only thing I buy from the store is the heavy whipping cream, which to me is totally worth it. The flavor came out phenomenal, and we get to know that it's from our chickens that we raise out here in the homestead, as well as the goat milk that we produce here as well. By utilizing this recipe, it also lets us have eggnog all types of year instead of just during the holiday season. As soon as it hit November, my kids saw eggnog in the store and they wanted it. As long as we have the ingredients for it, we can have it anytime. It doesn't have to be the holidays. So to my 18 egg yolks, I added in 1.5 cups of sugar. Remember, I said I am tripling this recipe. The original recipe only calls for 6 egg yolks and 1/2 cup of sugar. So now I'm going to start heating up my milk, my whipping cream, as well as my nutmeg on the stove. So for this recipe, as I'm tripling it, I will need 6 cups of goat milk. This is a quart, and so I know it has 4 cups already. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour that in there. Then I also need 3 cups of heavy whipping cream. To this pot, I'm going to add some salt and some nutmeg. While we're waiting on the milk to heat up, I'm going to whisk this sugar and egg yolk mixture together. This is 1.5 cups of sugar. So now it says to add a big spoonful of this mixture, this hot milk mixture, to this egg. While whisking vigorously, it says. The reason why you want to do this is so that you don't make yourself some fried or scrambled eggs. You are slowly, gradually bringing the temperature of the eggs up to the temperature of the milk. So once most of the milk mixture has been added to the eggs, to temper them, it tells you to slowly add this to the milk, whisking for a few minutes until it starts to thicken. So it says you want to whisk until it starts to get thicker, which it is, or until it reaches 160 degrees, which I just used my temperature gauge and it went past 150. So I am going to turn this off. So once removed from heat, you add the vanilla. So next it says to pour through a mesh strainer. Hopefully this bowl is big enough. It's actually not. So I did end up changing bowls. I ended up just using my mixing bowl because I couldn't find a big enough bowl at the time. And it says to cover with plastic wrap and chill, refrigerate until chilled, and it will thicken it as it cools. It's already pretty thick. It's the color of eggnog. It smells like eggnog already, so I'm really excited about this. Pour this mixture inside of my Vitamix and use the remainder of the milk in here. The recipe did say that you could add a couple tablespoons of milk to thin it out, so that is what I'm going to do. And then I am going to pour it back into this milk container and put it in the fridge. So I actually ended up getting 2 of these jars filled and then like a little more. I was gonna put it in my milk container, but I'm like, we'll need it to put more milk in tomorrow. We only have one of those. So I use these. These are what I used to use to put kombucha in. We're not making kombucha right now. I'm gonna put these back in the refrigerator while I work on the cake. The first thing we're gonna do is preheat the oven to 350. I have never made this recipe before, but we're gonna go ahead and try. I can't even find my cake pan, so I am going to actually use my pie pan. I just added the 18 cups of the 18 egg whites into here, and I'm going to add a pinch of salt and then beat until foamy. Once it begins to get foamy, it is then time to add 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar, and then you're going to keep beating until you see soft peaks form. After that, once you start to see soft peaks, then it is time to gradually add in 1.5 cups of granulated sugar and beat until stiff peaks. So I have stopped the mixer right now because I'm pretty sure that is a stiff peak. I believe how you tell is you use a mixer and try to stand it up, and you see how that didn't go back down. So this is good enough, I think. This recipe called for cake flour, which I did not have any on hand, so I looked up how to make my own cake flour, which was just adding some cornstarch to all-purpose flour. And if you're interested in how to do that, I'll leave that the portions down below as well. I forgot to mention that at the end of it whipping, you also add in vanilla and stir it in, but now I am gradually stirring in the flour and powdered sugar mixture, and it says fold it in, so I'm trying my best not to stir, which is a little hard. I want to stir, but I was trying to fold it in. So now that this is all mixed in, I need to pour it into this pan. It said a 10-inch tube pan. I don't have a 10-inch tube pan, so I think I'm just going to pour it in 2 of my cake pans, or my pie pans, should I say. The recipe says to let it bake at 350 for 45 minutes, but since this is 2 pans, I just put my oven timer to 30 minutes, and I'm going to check it after 30 minutes. So this is how the cakes are looking. I let them cook for 35 minutes. And now I'm going to let them cool upside down.
On the floor.
Liquid and attacking my man had it sick. tastes like porridge.
Porridge?
Yeah.
You said yours was better.
I wouldn't do it again, though, but it was better.
What it tastes like now? My son says his was better. Yeah, taste it. Aiden said his was better.
Obviously.
What it tastes like?
Good.
Now you want some? Aiden said his was better than mommy's. What you think it tastes like?
Tastes like egg.
Do you think it tastes like eggnog?
Not from the store.
Not from the store, but it tastes good.
It tastes better.
Tastes better.
It tastes good.
You think it tastes better, Naya,
Better than what?
than eggnog from the store?
I don't know. Have another cup, Mommy.
Another cup of eggnog?
Thank you.
You getting another cup, Aiden? Of the eggnog that yours tastes better?
Still like that.
It tastes good? That's good.
Probably tastes better when it's colder.
So as you can see, I did get some sticking and it stayed in the bowl. But two of my daughters just came in, so I'm going to cut them a piece and cut myself a piece. That was falling, but it is super spongy.
It tastes good.
Tastes good? That tastes delicious. I will make that again. And find my cake pan. It's called angel food cake.
It looks like bread.
Okay, we'll taste it.
Bread cake. It doesn't taste like bread that much. It tastes like a creamy thing. A creamy bread.
You like it?
Tastes like bread. Yes.
What'd you think, Aiden?
Tastes like cake
Tastes like cake
without icing.
without icing. I'm gonna need a big cup of water after this. But if you have extra egg whites, make angel food cake.
You made that egg white?
Mm-hmm. And I use the egg yolks for eggnog. You know what I forgot to say? When my son made the eggnog, he didn't even use egg yolks. He used the whole egg. And so I don't know if that's why his tasted different. It still came out fine. So that definitely goes to show you that you can make eggnog with whole eggs. The texture or anything wasn't different. He did say it tasted different, but I didn't wait till mine was completely cool because I was making this video. But for his, we let it cool in the refrigerator for a whole 24 hours. So thanks for hanging out with me today while we made eggnog and angel food cake. And we'll see you guys